Hello everyone, welcome to our new lesson. In this lesson, we are going to go over some symbols, and these symbols will help us to understand more topics in the future. So before we start the lesson, you can pause the video and check all the symbols you are looking at now and figure out what are the values for each expression. Some symbols you might need time to do a little bit of research. You can definitely stop here and also figure out the answer on yourself. So let's check all these symbols here. I give 4 examples. I'm just wondering, we are going to do more practice regarding them. So let's check one by one. So first one, if you see this symbol, we know this is square root. So square root, so many of you already know the answer. So square root of 9, meaning we find a number, multiply itself, can get the answer, which is 3. Because 3 squared is 9. That's how do we find the answer, right? So this one, the little 2 bar here, some students probably remember this one already. So this one called absolute value, which means we figure out the answer, whatever the number inside, and also the absolute meaning the distance between this number to 0. So -2 minus 3 is -5. So absolute value of -5, which is 5, same as absolute value of 5. So this one, whenever we put a number in the little corner here, we call exponents. The reason I put a -1, just quick review for the definition of negative. 3 -1 meaning 1 over 3. That's basically the definition for the negative exponents. For this one, it's a fraction, but it's just a little bit complicated fraction because we do have an expression on the top part and also bottom part. So the way we do that, yes, you are right. We just figure out whatever the value for the numerator and also denominator, then we do the calculation separately. So 2 minus 1 for the numerator, which is 1. For the bottom part, you can do a little bit side notes. So we do the parentheses first, 4 minus 1, 3. And then 3 to the second power, which is 9. So this is our answer. And also, please do remember, if we can simplify, do our best to simplify the answer. That's basically, it's more like tradition in math. We like to simplify everything in order to make calculation easier. So that's basically a symbol here. Next, in this lesson, we are going to go over only one quick example, and then that's it. So that's basically a quick lesson for us to be familiar all the different symbols. So for this one, as you can see, we are going to evaluate this expression when x equal 2. Before we come to the answer, I suggest you pause the video and also try this example on your own. Later, you can just move on to the end to see if you have the same answer as mine. But before we start, whenever we need to evaluate expression for a certain value for the variable, what should we do? Yes, you are correct. We put the value of x into this expression and figure out. But we always, do not rush to solve the problem. Let's observe this expression to see what are the potential calculations we need to make. Very outside, we see a square root, and then inside square root, we see a fraction. As we know, in fraction, we always do the denominator, then numerator, we figure out the value, and that's pretty much the value of the inside part, right? So let's do it in this way. So I'm going to write down the side notes, figure out what are the value for each part, and then I put everything here as a final, then figure out the answer. So let's check the top part. Top part, I see a big bar. I know this is, yes, absolute value. So I put a 2 for x, so it's 2 minus 8. 2 minus 8, I know is a -6, right? But do not forget, we do have absolute value, so which it should be 6. So the top part is 6. Let's label here 2 makes unknown. So the bottom, again, whenever I see the exponents, I just put a parenthesis as a value to represent the value of x. So I put 2 here, 2 to the second power, then plus 4. So some students might make this kind of mistake. They might do 5 times 2 is 10, then 10 to the second power is 100. That's a mistake. Because whenever you do exponents, we do exponents first. Because this 2 only applies to 2, so we do 2 to the second power, which is 4, then times 5. So please do remember, we don't do 5 times 2 first. That's a wrong step. Then plus 4. So 5 times 4 is 20. 20 plus 4, 24. Now I know the bottom, which is 24. So let's write them together here. 6 over 24. And then, as I mentioned, we prefer to simplify this. I know 6 is a factor of 24, so what I do is I'm going to simplify this fraction by dividing 6 for both parts. So it's 1 over, yes, you're right, 4. So now they say, oh my, square root of fraction? Don't worry, all we need to do, square root of each part. So square root of 1 over square root of 4. Square root of 1, yes, 1 times 1 is 1. Square root of 4, 2 times 2 is 4. So that's it. That's our final answer. And now you can check if you have the right answer with mine. And congratulations if you're correct. If you do make a mistake, that's totally fine. Review all the steps I have here so you can learn lesson from your mistake. Okay, so that's all I want to share with you. See you in next lesson. Bye, guys.